Hello, welcome to Lakers Live pregame show. Good, or I should say, good morning, Lakers fans, and basketball fans, whoever else is watching around the world. Um, Manny cannot be here today, so it is going to be Medina and I running the show here. Uh, Medina, we got an early game. Lakers and the Pacers cruising towards the end of the season. Um, Obviously, Pacers aren't too irrelevant, but Lakers got to get it done. Lakers got to keep this streaks alive and keep it rolling here.
Oh yeah, something I mentioned last game, Aaron. You weren't here for pregame, but I was telling Manny, I'm like, don't underestimate these teams that are, the last seed, the ninth seed, doesn't matter what. I feel like whenever it's a bad team we're going up against, the Lakers play a little too comfortably, and we saw that against the Rockets the other night. We almost ended up losing that game. I mean, which should
Yeah,
have been a 20-point blowout turned into a 1 point game that we barely won in the last second. So, I mean, the Pacers, they might be number 9 in the East, but don't underestimate them. If you've been watching their last few games, they've had some pretty high scoring games. But I mean, one advantage that we get, but two advantages we have is we have our whole team back. Um, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Dennis Schroeder, they're all going to be playing tonight. No word on Caruso yet. I haven't heard anything
no,
about him. But for the most part, the Pacers actually have a lot of their guys that are sitting out with injuries. So I mean, what it should be a high scoring game for the Lakers today. Hopefully, no last minute, anxiety.
yeah.
So that's something I've been also saying is, we gotta have a strong closeout in that fourth quarter. So, hopefully with our big guys being back today, we can actually see that happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's just got to take everybody. Everybody's got to have a good game today. Having the whole team, I'm looking forward to seeing. We got AD, LeBron, Schroeder, Drummond. I mean, that's originally what we all said. Like that's the pieces. Those are the that's the core
Hmm.
now. But now, obviously, you have everybody in the mix. The Lakers have found stuff that works. Obviously, shout out to Drummond as well. The last game he played,
Oh yeah.
um, my guy had one of the best games I've seen him have suit up yet with the Lakers. So, obviously, I want to see that chemistry keep going. I feel like him and Anthony Davis just got to keep playing with each other more,
Yeah,
kind of
you
feed
were
off.
right.
Yeah, and honestly though, I get it. You guys were debating on, hey, maybe Marcus All belongs back in the starting lineup, but nah, he's just still inconsistent when it comes to
Mhm.
starting. Like you got to come out there now and you got to give it your all. And I feel like he just kind of takes a step back. Like he popped off for a few games, and then it was nope. We're gonna just check out a little bit. So I definitely think Drummond's still gonna get his starting spot back. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like his start he earned it. He played tremendously. Um, Lakers made it obviously too close in that Houston game. Too close for comfort,
Too
should I say
close.
the least. Only winning 124 to 122. But it's the Lakers. That's how we've been lately with our defense. Our defense in late game situations, and just the turnovers. So definitely think the Lakers just gotta gel together now. This is the last two games right here. Time to get it together. Time to get those turnovers down and try and get ready, as they say, for Lakers playoff basketball. And shout out to our boy
Oh,
Manny here. Shout,
we miss you, Manny.
we miss you, brother.
Let's go Lakers. I mean, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna point out George's comment here too. Shout out to Cruz for saving us that game against the Rockets. He's been coming in clutch. I love the way Kuzma's been playing these last couple of games. He's showing us that he's consistent, and hopefully, we see another game from him. I mean, he probably won't have such a high scoring game because we are going to have LeBron and Schroeder and AD and Drummond most mainly out there, but I do hope
Yeah.
to see a little bit more action from Kuzma when he's coming off the bench, just so we can still see that he's playing, consistent. So mean, shout out to Kuzma. Shout out to all our guys. I mean, we scored 86 points in the paint in that last game. That's incredible. I want to see that happen every game. I don't know
Yeah.
about you, Aaron, but that's just something we've been talking about. The Lakers are best from shooting in the paint, driving in the paint. I mean, unnecessary threes. We're not a 3-point shooting team. We're not Steph Curry. We're not Damian Lillard. And I feel like we kind of we proved that we're not the best 3-point shooting team at all. So hopefully we can just keep that up and have more points in the paint tonight too, because I don't want it to be a close game against the Pacers. None of us do. I
Oh
mean,
no.
we're waking up. I mean, West Coast, we're all up early. We're true Laker fans for getting up this early on a Saturday morning to watch the Laker game, and we want to watch the Lakers win today. So hopefully we see that happening.
Yeah. Obviously, like you were saying about the points in the paint. I mean, we all know. I mean, how many times am I mentioning? How many times are we always mentioning like Lakers got to drop in the paint, get the score, get the points going. Good morning. Just they gotta find. They have something that works. When you shoot, they shot almost 60% from the field for field goals in the last game, and primarily reason was because they went to the paint. And I think Vogel now has to say, look, I have a team that's still kind of based on, the Howard and the McGee of last year, where those guys they were attacking the rim, attacking the paint, getting in there, get those alley-oop dunks. Honestly, Lakers just got to put themselves down, put the foot down, and keep driving to the paint. Get into the paint, get in there, take away those 3-point percentages. If you're going to shoot some, maybe 10, 15 at the most throughout the whole game, maybe. But primarily, Lakers have something that works, and that's the paint. If they go outside and they rely on the perimeter shooting, that's just not going to win you the game. And this game might get you never know how that game today in a little bit will turn out. So Lakers really just got to play great. And also, hey, Manny brought up a good point as well. I got to contain LeVert because he's a great 3-point shooter. Lakers, honestly, Medina, biggest thing we've seen is perimeter defense in the Lakers. Just leaving guys open, just being late on switching for coverage. And the Lakers just got to really keep their heads down, and obviously, like you said, can't take this team for granted.
No, we can't. I mean, like I said, if you've been keeping up with the Pacers stats, they've been having some pretty high scoring games. So don't underestimate them. Even with their main guys being out, the Lakers, I don't think we've had a blowout game in a long time, Aaron. So, I mean, these last two games, every game counts. Obviously, not every game, but the last two games, they count. If we want that 6th seed, I mean, hope as much as I love the Portland Blazers. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm trying to play. I'm still waking up, guys. I didn't have my morning coffee all the way through, but as much as I love the Blazers, hopefully they lose their last couple of games, or I think they have one more game left. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I mean, they don't have an easy schedule. They've been playing some pretty hard teams. So most likely the chances of Portland losing and dropping to the 7th seed, it's pretty high. But the Lakers just need to win these last two games. And I believe right now, if we do get that 6th spot, we would be playing the Nuggets in the first round because the Clippers just lost yesterday. So they dropped down to the number 4th seed. So, I mean, it's going to be whoever we play against the first round, it's going to be challenging either way. The Clippers are a great team. Nuggets are a great team. But, I mean, it starts up with playing well these last two games, getting that spot. That's the most important thing. But also just having, our whole team back out there and just gaining that energy that we need, that playoff energy we need to see from them. We need to start having that up soon and just win this game today. I mean, everyone's been talking to me and asking me hey, do you think the Lakers are going to clinch the 6th or 7th? And I'm like, honestly, I've been saying this all week. I'm like, if we win our last 5 games, we're good. We got this. And if we lose one of them, then that's when I'm scared of being in the play-in tournament. But thankfully, we're the opposite from the Blazers schedule. We only have like easy teams that we've been playing this whole week. So I mean, that's our blessing right there. But like we've been saying, Aaron, don't underestimate these teams. Still, even if they're not the best teams, they still come out and play like really strong against the Lakers, and that's something we've seen. Everyone wants to beat the Lakers, so
Yeah.
don't be surprised if it's a close game today either.
Yeah, I mean, no matter it don't matter the record, they're after the defending champs. Everybody wants a piece of them. They don't care if they're just getting healthy. They don't care if they're just overcoming injuries. They are they're gonna come out here and play great ball. And they're already down. It's true, you know. Pacers are already
Hmm.
down. They're bad. They're not a great team right now. They're in the process of getting things together. Obviously, after losing Oladipo, um, and the rest is history for them. They are just trying to rebuild their foundation of their team a little bit more. They got a lot of young core people. So, with Levert, they're trying to, I think, build around him eventually. So, obviously, you can't let the Pacers get their ways tonight. You have to say, look,
Hmm.
we have our team, we got our guys. We got Jared Dudley back too. I mean, we can't forget
Hey.
about Jared Dudley here. Um, they just got to come out here and play. Lakers cannot mess around tonight. Obviously, you know, I think obviously, they might with it when it comes to the Nuggets and the Portland game tomorrow. Um, I think obviously everybody starts around the same times as each other. Lakers and of course coincidentally, Lakers and Portland had the same time. So 6 o'clock tomorrow. But honestly, I think it really just depends because Nuggets are not going to go anywhere. Um, Nuggets might just pull their starters out, so it might be easier for Portland because they might just do that. So and I think if Portland technically wins and the Lakers win, Portland's got the tiebreaker over it because they beat us. So
Oh,
so I
didn't know
think
that.
I think that might change things about it. Um, but what's everybody think in the comments? What's your guys' thoughts as well? Um, Medina, what do you think?
I mean, honestly, I feel like Portland should have won that game against the Suns. I feel like something, in my opinion, I feel like something fishy happened that last couple seconds of the game. That's just my opinion, though. But they only lost by one against the Suns the other night. They almost had it until, they got the foul on Booker. But I mean, I think it's possible the Nuggets might let Portland win tomorrow, which is not going to be good for us, obviously, because
Yeah.
we want to avoid that play-in tournament. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen. I feel like the Lakers they're gonna win their last two games, but it all just matters on Portland too, like if they're gonna lose or not tomorrow night. So I mean, I have nothing against the Portland, but I mean, I want to see them lose because I don't want that anxiety of us that possibility of not making it into the playoffs because that's not going to be fun, Aaron. The playoffs are not the same without the Lakers, especially not without LeBron James. Everyone knows it.
Yeah. I mean, LeBron's on a mission. Um, LeBron is on a mission this year to say, look, I am ready for another run to go back, but Lakers can't get cocky with the ball. They can't.
Nope.
They can't just start dipping into these bad habits. This is where now, like I meant, we were talking about it too. Is everybody? Some people thought that the Lakers are not gonna. LeBron's not gonna play until the playoffs, or Anthony Davis is not gonna play anymore until the playoffs. Like no, they're gonna get it done now. They got to build chemistry. They got to build a
Yeah.
foundation again. They got to get their. They got to get their defense set up right and just get that offense moving just exactly
Yep.
where they want it to be. And this is the kind of game like the Pacers and the Pelicans tomorrow. Um, this is your game to just say, hey, let's go. This is how we want to play. We're gonna come out here and drop 110 points on them, or vice versa. I expect tonight or today to be a high scoring game, which is why we're going to get into the keys to the game. So, Medina, Lakers got to get it done. What's the best way they can get this done tonight?
Honestly, just keep driving the ball in the paint and don't have any stupid turnovers. We had like what over was it the Rocket game that we had over 20 turnovers or the Knicks game? I forgot. But I mean, that's just something we see constantly from the Lakers. They don't know how to keep that turnover rate down. And I feel like that's what always ends up costing us the game almost in the fourth quarter. And that's like what prohibits us from like having a strong closeout game. So, I mean, if I just feel like it's that right now. I feel like the Pacers would be an easy team to play up against. So, I mean, the Lakers got defense. I'm pretty sure like with LeBron and AD being back out on the floor, we're going to see like a very strong team out there today. So really it's just no sloppy passes, no sloppy turnovers. And I feel like we have this game, to be honest.
Yeah, I gotta say, um, get your defense lot tonight. Or my keys to the game actually gonna kind of be joint together. I'd say get your defense together and keep building on the chemistry you're gonna build throughout throughout the rest of the way. Playoff push after the Pelicans game. Hopefully. I mean, if all goes well, ideally, the Lakers don't have to play the play-in game. They get extra rest, which is technically great for this team. It's a good, but also a lot of people don't realize it too. Is yes, a lot of rest is good, and it's also a good and a bad thing because then your body kind of relaxes a little bit. You're just practicing, then you have to kind of lock yourself in for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So maybe necessarily if the Lakers did have to play the play-in tournament, I think they're going to be even hungrier already than they will.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, so players to watch today. I already think I think we already know who you're going with. He didn't play. He didn't play in the last game, but I have a gut feeling I know who he is.
As much as I love my guy AD, and I'm actually
Oh,
wearing his jersey today, I'm actually gonna go with I don't know if you've been watching the last two. I don't. Yeah, oh, you weren't in the last pregame, but the last two games I've
yeah.
actually been going with Kuzma, and he's been doing great. And today I'm actually gonna go for LeBron because I want to see him have a really good game. I want to see him with like 30 points tonight. Honestly, I know it's like his like. Well, I mean, I know he came back for one game and then he sat out again, but like I want to see a high scoring game from him. And I think he wants to show us that he is capable and ready to play again. He's in playoff mode. So I just have a feeling that LeBron's going to beast it tonight.
Oh yeah. I gotta go with my boy Drummond. Drummond, gotta get it done, man. Obviously, you have a great game. I want more though. I mean, I'll take 20. I'll take 25 to 30 points. And honestly, if you could show us what you're doing right now, then obviously when that chemistry builds even more already with LeBron and Anthony Davis with you and build around that whole foundation. Oh my God. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
this team could seriously just come out here, excuse my French, but it seriously come out here and kick some ass tonight and throughout the rest of the playoffs because, this team's very capable of doing it. Drummond's got to be a big force in the paint. I want to see him block. I want to see him, he should at least get 17 or more rebounds tonight. Like, no joke.
That's what he's best at doing, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So now we are going to get in, before we wrap up the show, something very, 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 very important. We need to talk about, obviously, why I'm wearing my Kobe Bryant shirt as well today, as the Mamba gets inducted to the Hall of Fame. It's we always thought no matter what, that he would actually be there to speak, and then obviously Jordan and Powell and other people around him would all be there with him at the same place. Obviously, it's just it's unfortunate still to this day that he is not here with us, because I think everybody wanted to hear his Hall of Fame speech and just hear exactly how basketball and everything went. His accomplishments, everybody knows what his accomplishments were. How loyal, how great of a teammate he was, an all-around great person. Even towards the end of basketball, and obviously with his shoes, they're incredible. Kobe Bryant's getting to the Hall of Fame. a well-earned automatic first ballot. I knew it as soon as he was going to retire. Like he'll go in easily in the
Oh yeah, no
5 year mark.
doubt.
And it's crazy to think he had been out of the league for this long already. But well earned, and I'm so happy to watch. Obviously, that's going to be on at 2 o'clock today, so I don't think anybody is going to miss that. I am certainly not, and it's going to be an emotional night for Vanessa and Natalia and the entire teams around him.
Yeah, it's gonna be an emotional night for all of us fans. I mean, I'm pretty sure like we
Yeah.
would have rather heard him speak tonight, of course, and it's something that we were waiting. Us Laker fans, Kobe fans, we were waiting for it to happen for a while now, and it's unfortunate. It has to be now, but I mean, better late than never, right? But
Yeah.
I think Vanessa is gonna be um, uh, conducting the speech. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe she's going to be making the speech on his behalf, and it's just going to be emotional, Aaron. I'm not ready for it, but
No, I'm not. I'm not honestly either, and it's gonna be emotional because it's just you just think about it. Like I remember everybody was saying like after his last game against Utah, everybody was saying like, hey, when this guy gets to the Hall of Fame, it's you just know that just his art, his mind, and just his visionary thinking of what he was passionate about, the books, the Dear Basketball, everything that he does.
yeah,
You knew, like everybody was saying that his speech is going to be incredible. And obviously, I think a lot of people wish he had made it and had it ready to go whenever that may be. And it would have been great to hear like Vanessa actually read something that he wrote. But today is gonna be special because Vanessa. It's gonna be very hard for her. It's gonna be hard for the entire league. I'm sure. Obviously, I'm sure the Lakers are gonna acknowledge something related to that today as well. And I'm very happy for Kobe. I'm happy for his wife Vanessa. Happy for Natalia, Bianca, and Capri. Um, and just obviously, I'm glad that Jordan's there to represent him because obviously that was his little brother, and I think it's
yeah,
just going to be a great. I think it's going to be a great emotional day for Lakers organization.
most definitely.
So that's going to do it for us today for Lakers Live pregame show presented by the Ultimate Sports Show. Catch us right after the game for a postgame show for Manny, Medina, and myself. I'm Aaron, guys. We will talk to you after the game. Enjoy the game, and let's get it done, Lakers. Let's go.
Let's go Lakers.